Warm welcome. This is Markus Termin at the 1st of July 2024. The moon is still in the sign of Taurus, as you can see, and the sun is in the sign of Cancer. That's making a comfortable ground base in between sun and moon. The more, as I said yesterday, we are in a mutual reception in between moon and Venus, because Venus is the ruling sign for Taurus and the moon himself is the ruling sign for Cancer. So this is a good energy. And if you're looking at the happenings worldwide, the feeling is growing that the so-called, how am I going to put words, the evil side, is in... It is getting on the run, not on the run yet really, but on the edge of the run. And the situation is positive concerning that. But we must have a look at the details. What is happening at the same time? Now, Saturn went retrograde yesterday. He's retrograde in the sign of Pisces. Neptune is going to be retrograde tomorrow. That means all the Piscean forces, the dissolving forces, will have a second term, something like that, to get things done, to get more things dissolved, to put it that way. Which is not generally bad, because if you dissolve useless things like three-letter words, organizations, something like that, it's not a bad thing. But anything, this is happening throughout these days. And then the most important thing is the moon in Taurus is a nice and positive moon. But then on the other side, you might realize that Mars is slowly approaching Uranus close to the star, we call it Argol. He's in the position in Taurus, and Mars and Argol are going to have a conjunction on the 15th of July. And that is a combination of, this is a difficult energy. This is force, this is sudden outbreak, and Argol is really famous for, that's a hard one. So coming back to reality and the idea of how are we going to calculate this, I want to give you one very obvious example of what these happenings do make in persons' charts. Now, this inside chart is the chart of Mr. Joe Biden, and he has a sun in Scorpio. Now, the outside line, as you can see here, I put in the date for when he was having the presidential debate against Mr. Trump, And as you can see, if those guys have a small clue of astrology, and if they had any interest of keeping him in office, they would not have picked the date of Mars to Mars opposition. Mr. Biden is in a Mars to Mars opposition, and what comes along with the conjunction, Mars is going to, this is the date for the debate, and Mars is going to run over to that position almost where Uranus is just right now. And what happens then on the 15th of July, the 15th of July, that makes a perfect opposition to Mr. Biden's sun. So he's in great risk of his health, generally, He's in great risk. That's one of the difficult oppositions, Uranus to the sun, and then Mars is involved and Argol is involved, and that's a problem. And as you can see, the outcome of the presidential debate, because of this opposition of Mars opposing Mars, would be 100% clear for any astrologer. So obviously they didn't ask one, or They wanted him to fail and did ask one, and ask for what is the worst date of this year that we could pick to do something like that. Coming back to the private situation, how are we going to use that? It's important to have a look at what is on your positions in Scorpio and Taurus. What is Taurus in your chart? What is Scorpio in your chart? Are you going to be affected? And if you are being affected, can we possibly do anything, or is it just all fate coming from somewhere and we can't do anything against it? Yes, we can do something against it, and that is why we do astrology, to prepare ourselves for aspects like that and to say, no, we're not gonna be there when this aspect hits. We're gonna be somewhere else. Our consciousness is going to defend us by putting in actions or symbolic deeds, anything like that will get us out of the shooting line. So thank you very much for listening. This is Markus Termin at the 1st of July 2024. The 15th is the date when Mars meets Uranus and Argo at the same time in the sign of Taurus. That's today is the 1st. And if you want to get in contact, just use this mail address, mind the DE at the end, because I'm German, but I love to speak English, though I might not do it perfect. I'm constantly improving. Hope you recognize and notice that. And down here at my blog site, you'll find the conditions for a consultation. It's not that expensive, and we can also split in half hours or things like that. Thank you very much for listening. If you listen to this show, why not making a thumb up, so you can see tomorrow again. Thank you very much. Markus Termin, Astrologisches Stundenbuch. Tomorrow better.